Welcome to our workshop, Healthy Teachers, Healthy Classrooms. And in this post today, I would like to invite you to think about building classroom communities and about the importance of fostering a sense of belonging. So when we think about motivation for learning, I would like to make a comparison with the desire and the natural tendency to grow that all living beings on this planet have. If you have a look at the pictures on this presentation, you will see that there are lots of plants, and I personally have found that being in contact with plants during this time of physical distancing has really helped me to continue to have a sense of belonging with the planet and with my own desire to continue growing and to being a more complete person. So if we have a look at plants, if we think about what they need to grow, maybe you just take a second and think, what could it be? What does a plant need to grow? Just a few pictures to help you. So maybe you've already got it, thought of the right words. Yes, a plant to grow, it needs soil, water, and light. Basically, it's really simple. And if we think about human beings, for us to feel motivated, we also need three basic things. Okay, this is based on self-determination theory. I think it's my favorite motivation theory. And it really talks about that there are three very simple things that we need to cater for in our classrooms so that our students can feel motivated and feel with this desire to grow. What are they? First of all, we need a sense of autonomy, that we can take our own decisions in our learning process. That's important. We need a sense of achievement. We need a sense of progress, of competence, of growing competence. So this feeling that, oh, I can do something now that I wasn't able to do a minute ago is a very motivating feeling. And last not least, and this is the topic of today's presentation, is that we need a sense of belonging. We all need relationships with other people, with other living beings. And for this, I've prepared a few ideas for you today to think about how to build them into your classrooms. And also this could be just for the time being, now that we're under lockdown, we can't have much physical contact with other people, but we're still part of this learning community. And we could also think about what obviously to do it once we're back in the normal classroom. So a few community building activities, what can they do? Or what can we do? First of all, it's really important that the members of our classrooms really get to know each other well. And sometimes we think, well, these students have spent long years together in the same classroom. But if I think back about my own experience as a student, I remember that there were some classmates that I really never got to know at all. And we spent 9 years together in the same classroom. So some of the things that we could do, for example, and this is a possibility with collaborative tools on the internet, we can use Google Slides, for example, to create a collaborative presentation where each of the members of the community, including the teachers, present ourselves, introduce ourselves, saying who we are, and think about our strengths. And together with the strengths, what each of us can contribute to the learning community. So you can have one slide for each member, and then you can get the students to present themselves during the for example, synchronous sessions. Here's another activity that I love doing in the normal classroom. I'll figure out how to do this. Maybe there's a possibility with breakout rooms on Zoom to do this too, to regroup people during this group work activity. Okay, so I'll quickly explain how this works. This is called Double Circle by some authors, Spencer Kagan or Kagan Publishing, who have written about cooperative structures a lot. They've called it Inside Outside Circle. I'm calling it speed dating, just for the fun of it, really. And how does this work? You get your students to stand in 2 concentric circles in the classroom, but you've got in the inner circle, the students have to face outwards, and in the outer circle, the students have to face inwards. So the students actually stand facing each other during the activity. Then you give them about 2 minutes, maybe a bit more, depending on what you want them to discuss. That's really an open material here. You can fill it up with lots of different activities. Maybe, who are you? What is your commitment going to be to this group? Maybe something else. What are your hobbies? What do you think about this book that we read together? Many different possibilities, okay? You get the students to face each other, to talk to each other for 2 minutes. And then when the time's up, you make a loud sign, maybe clapping or some other noise. And you get the students in one of the circles, here I've marked it in the inner circle, to make one big step to the left and face a new partner. And then they start again. So within a short period of time, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes of your class time, they can get to talk to lots of people in the classroom. And this activity, I can tell you, it's worked magic in terms of the students using the target language. Suddenly they forgot that they were speaking English, and they were just, they forgot that they could have switched to Spanish, but they never did. That's one thing. And the other thing is that I always saw them smiling. And I'm sure that this is something that really helps them to get to know each other well. Here's another idea that can also be filled up with different ideas within it, okay? One of my experiences as a foreigner living in Chile has been that it's really gratifying if you feel that you can be part of making the norms of the group that you're participating in. So for me, for example, as a foreigner, it's just amazing that I have the right to vote and I can take part in the elections. And here, when we are in the classroom, often the classroom rules are made from school authorities. Maybe you're not allowed to use the cell phone, or you're not allowed to do this and you're not allowed to do that. But it's actually a really good instance to also think about what do we actually expect from each other, so that everybody can reach a common aim. And this is something that you could get your students to discuss together. What are our common aims? What are our expectations from each other? And what can we achieve only if each of us commits to this group, and only if we collaborate? And if you break this together in a group discussion at the beginning of a course, and then come back to it regularly to check if these aims are being met, and if everybody's really committing to the group, you will see that the sense of belonging and the sense of commitment and feeling part of this, something bigger than just myself, is going to help them to actually really put time and effort into the different assignments that you're giving your students. This will really help you to also get better results on the long run. So I hope you like this presentation. Just join us again next week. And just to give you something to check out if you like, the content of this presentation is inspired by Deci and Ryan's self-determination theory. And you've got one article here that summarizes it really well. And of course, Kagan cooperative learning structures, as I showed you in the double circle activity. Thank you very much for joining. See you next week. Thank you.